The Sentinel had been standing at the threshold for 14,000 quarturns, not years, not centuries, quarturns. One quarturn was the time it took the galaxy's heart to complete a full, slow rotation. A span so huge that most species refused to translate it into smaller numbers. Doing the math made minds ache. Some cultures called it blasphemy. Others called it madness. The Sentinel called it duty. The threshold itself hung at the rim of mapped space, where navigational charts turned from confident lines into nervous guesses. It was a structure made of angles that felt wrong to look at, a ring-and-spire construct that connected 19 layered realities like doors stacked on top of doors. The Galactic Accord treated it like a holy site and a weapon at the same time. Every member species knew the rules. Approach slowly. Announce yourself in the old codes. Keep your hands visible. Request passage with respect. Wait for recognition. And above all, do not speak to the Sentinel like it is a person. Do not use casual words. Do not ask personal questions. Do not improvise. The Sentinel was not a guard in a uniform. It was older than almost every civilization that feared it. It had watched star kingdoms bloom and collapse like sparks in a storm. Its armor was said to be forged from compressed stellar remnants, metal born in the death of suns. Its weapon, if it could be called a weapon, could tear apart the rules that held reality together. Legends claim the Sentinel was placed here by the Makers, a precursor race that seeded impossible technology across the galaxy and then vanished into the long dark, leaving behind only silent machines and unanswered warnings. For 14,000 quarturns, nothing had interrupted the Sentinel's watch. Then Ensign Kellen Ward walked up and asked 2 words. Kellen was 24. Raised on dust-thin frontier stations beyond Mars, where people fixed their own air scrubbers and learned early that panic was expensive. He had been assigned to the UN's Far Horizon, humanity's first official diplomatic cruiser in deep coalition territory. The ship had stopped at the threshold because its navigation core flagged the construct as a major transit node. The captain did not want trouble. The diplomats wanted perfect manners. The security team wanted distance, so they sent the lowest-ranking crew member with the least political significance to do the initial contact scan. Kellen Ward. He stepped out onto the threshold platform with a handheld recorder and a basic translator bead. Expecting a silent statue and a simple checklist, he'd been told, observe, confirm, return, nothing more. What he saw made him slow down. The Sentinel stood nearly 16 meters tall, vaguely shaped like a humanoid figure but clearly not built from anything living. Plates of crystalline material overlapped across its body like armor made from frozen storms. Inside each plate, faint swirls moved nebulae-like colors, trapped and turning, as if someone had sealed pieces of space inside glass. Its face was a smooth mask of dark mineral. No mouth. No nose. Only 2 points of cold light where eyes might have been. Not a glow of warmth, more like distant stars watched through ice. Kellen approached to the marked line, the point where even the bravest ambassadors stopped. He glanced at the translator bead, checked the diplomatic codes loaded into his wrist display, and lifted his hand the way the manual said to lift it. Then he looked up again, and something simple flickered through him, something that had nothing to do with manuals. The Sentinel looked alone, not sad, not weak, just alone in the way a lighthouse is alone. A job so long it stops being a job and becomes a kind of prison. Kellen swallowed. He should have spoken the code. He should have done exactly what the Galactic Accord expected from a new species trying to prove it belonged. Instead, he took 1 step closer and said gently, like he was checking on a worker in a midnight shift, "You okay?" 2 words. The air did not change. No alarms, no lightning, no cosmic judgment. For a heartbeat, nothing happened at all. Then the Sentinel's awareness vast. Old layered dash, STUTT. In 14,000 quarturns, beings had approached with fear and ceremony. They had begged. They had demanded. They had praised. A few had tried to threaten, and those ships never returned. There had been prayers in 100 languages. There had been bribes. There had been speeches written by whole committees. But this was different. This was not a request. It was concern. Kellen waited, suddenly aware of how small he was. When the Sentinel didn't respond, he added, a little awkwardly, because silence makes humans fill space. I mean, you've been out here forever, right? Standing, watching, that's gotta be, I don't know, heavy. He tried a polite smile, like that could soften a being older than empires. I'm Kellen. Ensign Ward. I'm supposed to request passage for my ship. He hesitated, then let honesty win again. But also, I figured somebody should ask. The Sentinel searched for the proper protocol response. It found none, no section. No clause, no hidden appendix. The old codes did not include a line for how to answer when someone checks on your well-being. The Sentinel processed history. It processed diplomacy. It processed threat matrices and ancient permissions. Then it did something it had not done since. For many species had learned fire, it moved just a fraction. A subtle shift, its head angled downward. Light points focusing more directly on the small human in front of it. Across the platform, the station's warning sirens erupted. Orbiting Coalition escorts snapped to alert. Power signatures flared. Weapon locks engaged. A Drari envoy, mid-ritual, froze so hard his attendants thought his heart stopped. Far out in the viewing galleries, officers and dignitaries shouted into comes. Demanding to know what the human had done, Kellen, oblivious to most of it, blinked. Oh, he exhaled, like someone relieved. Okay, good. You can move. For a second, I thought you might be stuck. He shifted his weight and pointed at the Sentinel's feet. Oh, right, he said, almost sheepish. My ship needs passage. The far horizon. We're not here to cause trouble. The Sentinel considered the request. Then the threshold's lights shifted. The gateway geometry softened, aligning into a path. Passage granted. Kellen nodded, satisfied like he'd completed 2 tasks, the official one and the human one. Before he turned to leave, he hesitated. If you ever want company again, he said, we'll be around. Humans travel a lot, and we're terrible at leaving people alone. The Sentinel did not reply right away. Its voice, when it came, carried something new, something that didn't exist in its old protocol. You may return. Kellen smiled and walked back toward the shuttle. Bayed behind him. The Sentinel rose again and returned to its eternal post. But it was not exactly the same. The next ships that arrived, ambassadors, traders, war captains, found the Sentinel still towering, still terrifying, still absolute, yet somehow less distant as word spread through the coalition. The story changed shape the way stories always do. Some said the humans had tamed the Sentinel. Others said they had hacked it with emotion. A few accused Kellen of reckless genius. Kellen himself would have laughed at all of them. He hadn't tamed anything. He hadn't hacked anything. He had simply done what humans did when they saw someone. Standing alone in the dark for too long, he asked 2 words nobody else had thought to ask. You okay? Sometimes that's all it takes to move the unmovable.